Leila Stuart. We're back here again doing the practice of finding spirit in the body. If there's any setup that I need to do, or if sitting, standing, or laying down is fine, then we can just let everyone know that that's open and available to them. And I'll let you lead the way here.
So welcome to the final day of this retreat on self-nurturing, and today is the day where we honor and celebrate spirit. And I have a quote from Rumi that really articulates my sense of this. He asks, "How will you know the difficulties of being human if you are always flying off to blue perfection? Where will you plant your grief seeds? Workers need ground to scrape and hoe, not the sky of unspecified desire." What I love about this quote from Rumi is that, as I believe, we need to be firmly established in our body before we can really, I think, have a spiritual life. So the practice today is going to be, first, let's get grounded in our body. And then secondly, we'll do a seated meditation where we get to fly off to the sky of unspecified desires for a while. So I'd like to start with standing. And you won't be able to see my upper body, but that's okay, because what's most important is that you see my legs and feet. So please come to standing. So take a few moments and allow your body, the weight of your body, to arrive on the floor. Can you feel that there is something beneath you that is supporting you? Where do you feel that in your feet? What does that feel like? How are you standing on that surface, that supportive surface of the ground? Can you allow that support to come up your body? Can you allow that support that your feet are resting into your knees? What does that feel like to allow the support of the earth into your knees? And can you allow that support to come up even higher into your pelvis and your hips? You may notice as you're inquiring here that you come across parts of you that are holding away from the support of the surface, and that's perfectly fine. You're simply exploring, doing an inquiry to see, what do I do normally? How do I stand normally, habitually? And can you allow that support to rise up even further into your spine? Into your head, your skull, into your shoulders. And can you feel that there's something inside of you that gives you the strength to stand? Something that is enlivening you so that you can stand and move and walk. So no matter what our spiritual beliefs, we can all agree, I think, that there is something inside of us that enlivens us, that animates us, and that when we have it, we function, all of our organs and systems function, and when we don't have it, we're not alive. And so it's that, whatever you want to call it, energy, awareness, soul, consciousness, whatever it is, however you call it, there's something inside of us that allows you to stand upright and to move and to think and to process. So getting a sense for that whatever you call it, something that is expanding from the inside, filling your body and animating it. And then starting to shift your weight a little bit forward onto your toes very slowly, and then point by point by point, very slowly coming back onto your heels without raising your feet off the floor. Just going back and forth and feeling, oh, that's what the rest of my body does when I shift forward on my toes. And then as you shift back to your heels, oh, that's how my body is when I shift my weight back on my heels. Going back and forth a few times. And then just settling into what is your usual way of standing. And the way that you usually stand is interesting. How are you standing? Where is your weight normally? Is it more forward? Is it more on the inside or the outside? Taking this base level of how you stand normally, how you accept gravity or don't. Gravity is always pulling us down, but then we have this amazing energy inside of us that is keeping us upright. So we're going to play a little bit with the feet. And this is a practice called the foot triangles. And in a standing body, the weight of the upper body comes down to the ground through 3 points in the feet. The ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, and if you draw a line from your ankle bones down to where the dirty part meets the clean part, that's the 3rd point, and that forms a triangle. And the triangle is the most stable, efficient shape in nature. And so when we can get a sense for that foot triangle, then the rest of our body can shift and feel perhaps a little bit more supported, a little more embodied. So choose a foot. It doesn't matter which foot. Some people like to start on the foot that is less aware, and the other people like to start on the smarter foot. So choose a foot. And then start just by lifting the toes of that foot and spreading them, wiggling them, trying to get some space between them, noticing which ones move and which ones don't so well. And then come up on the ball of your foot And then shift your weight just a little bit forward onto the big toe ball joint. We want to wake up the nervous system to the existence of this place on the foot. So just a few times shifting your weight forward and then off. This is my big toe ball joint. And then moving to the second toe ball joint and doing a couple of passes on that ball joint. This is my second toe ball joint. You're articulating for your nervous system these places. And then the third toe ball joint. And you're noticing, that one's pretty clear. That one's not so clear. So just noticing that. And then the fourth toe ball joint, a few passes there. And then the fifth one. This is where, for me, it gets a little obscure. So I have to, when I do this, I always do a little bit extra on the places that are a little obscure. And then place the foot back down on the floor. And do just a quick scan. Did that change how you're standing? Does that change how one side of the body is compared to the other? Pick up the inner edge of the foot now. And if you're on a yoga mat, you can use the stickiness of the mat to hook the little toe ball joint into, and then reach the big toe ball joint across toward the midline and then set it down. Take a moment so your nervous system can register what's happened in terms of broadening this metatarsal arch. And then lift the outer edge, anchor the big toe ball joint, and reach the little toe ball joint as far across to the outside as you can without a lot of effort. It's really easy to over effort this, so make it nice and easy and then set it down. And do that a few times. So you're anchoring, reaching, landing, and then allowing integration. You're creating a dynamic tension between the fixed point, the anchored point, and the moving point. Good. And then just take a moment and notice if that's changed anything. Then come up on the ball of the foot. Now, anchor down through that little toe ball joint again. And you want to keep that point anchored as you very, very gently move the knee toward the inside, just a little bit, and then back. It's kind of like a knee wave. And if you look down at your little toe and it's pivoting, then that's not what you want to do. You want to fix that so that you create the fixed point in that little toe ball joint, and then the moving point is the knee. So the little toe is anchored down. Good. And then change now so that the big toe ball joint is anchored, and then move the knee to the outside now. And most people will feel a little pull from the big toe ball joint to the inner knee. And then circle around those ball joints as though you're giving them a nice massage. First in one direction, then in the other direction. And then staying up on the ball joint, now we'll work with the longitudinal dimension. So anchoring the whole ball joint into the stickiness of the mat and reaching the heel away. So keeping that dynamic tension as you reach the heel back and down. And then landing and allowing your body to feel that, adjust to that. And then anchor the heel now and picking the rest of the foot up and reaching the ball joints away from the heel point and then setting it down. So now we're creating more elongation through the foot and doing that a few times. Anchoring, reaching, landing, and integrating. And again, watching your effort level. If you're not breathing, then you're using too much effort. And if you've got a death grip on the mat, you're also not breathing. So playing with the concept of right effort, light effort. Good, and then let that go. And I forgot to mention that as you're doing this, you want to have your feet lined up, so one not one in front of the other, but at the same level. So take a moment now with your eyes closed, if that's comfortable, and notice any difference between the two sides. And come up with a word or two or a phrase in your mind and register that in your mind. Name that for yourself.
Mine is settled in.
Mine is lightness. Something's been released. Okay, let's do the other side. So first, picking the toes up and wiggling them and spreading them. So keep the balls of the feet on the balls of the toes on the floor, and you're wiggling and spreading. And again, this foot may be quite different. Some toes may be very agile, others not. Watching your effort level. And then coming up on the ball of the foot and shifting your weight forward onto the big toe ball joint a couple of times. And then the second toe ball joint. If any of these points feel obscure to you, you can reach down and actually touch that ball joint to give a tactile cue, because you want to wake up the nervous system to the existence of these. So 2 or 3 passes in each ball joint, noticing which ones are more clear in your nervous system. And then when you finish, set your foot back down on the floor. Take a moment in open attention to notice. And then lifting the inner edge of the foot, anchoring the little toe ball joint and reaching the big toe ball joint across. Keeping that dynamic tension the whole way, and then landing. And integrating. Then anchoring the big toe ball joint, reaching the little toe ball joint across to the outside, and then landing, and then integrating. As much as possible, you want all of these movements to be from the groins down. So you don't want your upper body to be swaying. So it takes a little bit of core engagement. Going back and forth in that sideways movement a few times. And then coming up on the ball of the foot, anchoring the little toe ball joint and waving the knee slowly to the inside, feeling the little pull from the little toe ball joint to the outer knee, waving back and forth. Again, light effort, light effort. And then shifting to the big toe ball joint, anchoring it and moving the knee to the outside in that waving movement. Knee doesn't like to be torqued very much, so you're really listening, going slowly, lightly, in a refined kind of way. And then circling around all of those ball joints, giving them a massage. And you might even be able to tell, gee, I'm massaging 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 when I go in this direction, and then changing directions. Now I'm massaging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the more information the brain has, the nervous system has, it will integrate that and use that in your regular standing, your regular moving. Okay, so putting that foot down, taking a moment of open attention. And then coming up on the ball joint, reaching the heel back and down. Pausing a moment there. Allowing your body to notice that. And then lifting the ball joint up and reaching it forward. Keeping that dynamic tension as you set it down. And then pause and integrate. So doing that a few times in each direction. Watching your effort level. It's really easy to sneak up. I've been doing this a lot of years and I still find myself over-efforting. So the question could be, how much effort do I actually need in order to accomplish this simple movement? And then let that go. Stand with your eyes closed if that's available to you. And notice what's different about this standing. And again, give yourself a couple of words. I feel prana moving. I feel lots of energy zinging around my body.
It's like what was a spotlight on some of these places has become sort of a floodlight in my lower leg, down knee, down to the feet of awareness.
Good. So containing that energy, come down to sitting, either in a chair or on a bolster or any way, any place that you can sit in a way where your spine can be erect and comfortable, that you feel like you can be balanced on your sitting bones. Take a moment and feel, how does that last practice reverberate through your sitting? The second practice we're going to do is called the heart flame, the soul flame. So if you want, you can form this mudra, which is the Garuda mudra, the eagle mudra, and place your hands over your heart. If that's not comfortable, just place your hands over your heart. The eagle soars and has a different perspective, and when we are living from spirit, then we see things from a different angle. So closing your eyes, if that's okay, otherwise just lowering your gaze. And taking a moment to feel your body moving as the air moves in and the air moves out. Especially the feeling directly under your hands. And now imagine that underneath your hands is your heart. And in fact, you don't have to imagine it, it's true. There is a heart there. But in your mind, go deep into your heart and imagine that in the deepest, deepest part of your heart is the cave of your heart. And in that cave is a flame. Your soul flame. And with each inhalation, imagine that you are fanning that flame so that it grows a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, a little bit brighter. And with successive breaths, keep expanding that image of that soul flame growing with each breath. So that it starts to fill the whole cave. And then your whole chest. And gradually and incrementally, breath by breath, that soul flame fills your whole body with brightness, with lightness, with soul flame. And if visualization is not your thing, then just think that. Your whole physical body filled with the light of the soul. And then expand little bit by little bit that soul flame beyond the boundaries of your physical body to fill your energy body. And your energy body is said to be as big as the distance a breath is away from the body when you exhale. So in your mind's eye or in your mind, imagining that soul flame growing. And then growing even more past the boundaries of your energy body, your pranic body, into your emotional body. And it's said that the emotional body is as big as somebody can feel your emotion. Sometimes you can enter a room and know that someone is angry or sad. So growing your heart flame, growing your soul flame, as big as that. And then growing it even bigger, if that feels okay. You have to listen to your body, to yourself, and if it doesn't feel safe or comfortable for you to keep expanding in that way, then stay at whatever level you feel most comfortable at. But if you want to go a bit farther, keep expanding that soul flame even bigger to encompass your intellectual body. And it's said that your intellectual body is as big as far as a thought can go, which is pretty far. And in your mind now, keep expanding as far as is comfortable, even to the outer reaches of the universe, into infinity. Infinity above you, below you, in front and back, side to side. And you are in the center of that. And your soul flame is now touching the soul flames of everyone else on this call, everyone in the world, that part of us that is the same, is connected to everyone else. That sense of connection and oneness. Savor that for a moment. Feeling your boundaries boundless. That you are that point of light in the middle of all of it. And now start to shrink back down a little more quickly to the level of the intellect, the level of the emotional body, the pranic body, back into your physical body. And then that flame shrinking, 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 and going right back into your heart cave, where it belongs. Feeling the strength of that and the power of that heart flame, that soul flame that enlivens you. And take your hands, if you still got them on your chest, take them away and put them on your lap. Focus on your inhalations a little more and feel the air coming into your body and filling and bringing with it a sense of alertness and action energy. And take your hands and just tap your body a little bit to bring yourself back. Your feet, your legs, your arms, nice and soft. This is self-nurture, so gentle, compassionate tapping. Your shoulders, your head, your face. So there you have two practices for creating a home for spirit in your body. Grounding, connecting to the earth, and knowing that you are alive. Namaste. Thank you for your presence.
Namaste, Leila. Thank you so much. For everyone on the call, I'm just feeling that it would be good to let you sit with the feeling that you have, whatever's been created inside you, and to be with that in a kind way, in a friendly way. And of course, we will, in just a little bit, go into breakout rooms to share some of what we've experienced together today with Leila. Um, Thank you so much for offering what the light that you have inside your heart and spreading it out to all of us. Leila, it's been such a pleasure. And yes, I can't tell you how grateful I am to know you, to connect with you on a frequent basis. And of course, all of the contact information to tap into a little more of Leila will be available um, on both on the call and of course in your final email. Thanks again.
My pleasure.
Take care.